everybody. Welcome to episode 30 of Around the Verse. I'm Sandi Gardner.
And I'm Ben Lesnick.
We have reached $72 million.
Just incredible. I always give a speech about how thrilled and excited and happy and how much we owe everybody. I will skip that this time, but thank you so much.
You didn't sound that excited in that.
I'm very excited. It's one of those things that it's just, at this point, it's, wow, how did this happen?
Right. We have a new international store, so you can buy all throughout Europe, local currencies.
Yep, if you're paying in British pounds or euros, no more currency conversion fee. And check out the interview with Ortwin from last week for some more details on why this is going to be good news going forward.
PAX East and South by Southwest tickets went for sale. South by Southwest tickets are actually free. So come join us on Sunday night if you're going to be there. Saturday night, we also have a little award presentation at the show. And also Friday night, we have a Gaming Geek panel. So come join us for that. And a little booth as well, and not to forget the booth. Stop by that and pick up a little coupon, probably a free fly weekend, maybe some in-game flair. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but something cool.
Yeah, we always like to do something special for you guys at these events. We like it when Star Citizen backers come out in person. We get a lot of great feedback that way.
PAX East, are you going to come, Ben?
I hope so. We'll see if my schedule allows. I love Boston. Our event last year was great, and I know it's going to be incredible this year. You and Jessica have been just going above and beyond this time. So.
We have been working quite hard on it. We have a booth this year that we're sharing with Logitech. We're going to have a nice little 4x4 setup, so come stop by that. And then on the Saturday night, we have the party where we're going to do a presentation and hopefully give away some cool prizes as well, if you come join us.
Please. And speaking of our events, the PAX South Town Hall videos are now available on the RSI website. You can watch through all 5 or 6 hours of presentations. There's some crazy details about the persistent universe in there. I learned a lot personally.
I also saw a nice article written by GameSpot on our PAX South Town Hall, so that was kind of cool. Yeah,
it's always cool when we see press that's not, oh, Star Citizen's making too much money, it's a scam, they're out to get you. And speaking of articles in that vein, there was a fantastic piece on Kotaku earlier in the week where they shared a video of someone playing Arena Commander. They were trying to show off how pretty it was, but everybody in the development team was so excited because it was an Aurora pilot flying with a HOTAS setup and just kicking ass, which goes to show you that you do not need to buy the most expensive ship to win. You do not need to use a mouse to win. We're getting there.
Yeah, it is very impressive, and you should check it out here. And now it's time for news from around the verse.
Let's do this one module at a time, starting with Arena Commander.
Several new ship skins are almost completed.
How almost, you ask? So almost that you'll be seeing them tomorrow. We've got 2 of the skins promised during the campaign, the Pirate and UEE, and then we're adding a 3rd one in honor of our favorite fan initiative, Project Pitchfork. They'll all be available in the Pledge store. At this point, these skins are only for Auroras, but if you have one of the existing ones, they'll be on your account, and we'll be expanding to other ship types as we go forward.
A tutorial map is being prototyped.
The tutorial is one of our big priorities for future editions of AC. It may be in 1.1 or it may slip a little, but we want to bring new players into the game and kind of teach them to play.
The power throttle in the Aurora hood has been implemented.
This is a great example of how we are continuing to expand the various ship subsystems in Arena Commander. The game is, it's the test bed right now, and we're bringing in systems like shields, armor, scanners, and it's just going to get more and more detailed. You're here for the ride.
Imagine what our Aurora pilot can do with that.
He seemed unstoppable as it is. So.
Oh, yeah. Squadron 42. The Skydock is going through its 2nd iteration of the concept phase.
That's one of the big set pieces we'll be seeing in the first chapter of Squadron 42.
The ship-stretching warp-in effect has begun visual effects.
You saw at the town hall some of the previs we did for the jump point effect from Chris Olivia. He's also working on the quantum travel effect that we need both for Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe.
Speaking of Persistent Universe, foot and headwear options are being explored.
That was actually one of my favorite things to see in Austin, was walking around to the different character artists, and they would have like a whole page of boots up on their screen, or lots of pants.
I like it. Have you seen cargo pants? No cargo pants.
No cargo pants. That's the rule in Austin right now.
The repair drone models have been completed.
These are going to be used for many of our ships that will do external repairs during spaceflight or surveying minefields, and it also ties into our research system that we are developing right now.
The Marine model has received concept and model revisions.
And the first place you're going to see him is likely in the first-person shooter module, due out later this year.
Ships. The Avengers thruster malfunction is being addressed.
If you can believe it, we keep breaking Arena Commander, but we will keep fixing it until it is absolutely perfect.
The 350R's indestructible issue is currently being investigated.
Sorry about that, 350 pilots.
Constellation's turret, neck, and cargo areas are receiving additional work.
We're actually kicking off a pretty big revision of the Constellation right now, essentially preparing it for Arena Commander 2.0, where it's going to be flight ready. So we need to kind of lock down how you walk around in flight, all sorts of things that we hadn't necessarily thought through until now.
FPS module. Animations have been added for zero-G crumpling.
Zero-G is going to be, I think, the big selling point of the FPS module. It's going to be something nobody has seen before.
Tracers and impacts for the combustion pistol have been cleaned up.
One thing that's interesting to note is that just like the ship weapons, there'll be different types of ammunition. So you have lasers, you have combustion weapons, ballistics, all sorts of things. And that's one of the cool things about a sci-fi setting for an FPS game is sky's the limit for coming up with cool weapons.
What's nice about this week's episode is that we have a lot of stuff in the can from Austin. So let's go over to Mark Skelton and Jenny Varner for a tour of the Austin office.
And let me note that this was actually suggested by a backer while we were there. They said, of course, you guys are going to walk around the office and show us. And we're like, well, now we are. So here you go.
Hey guys, so we had a request today during Reverse the Verse to get a Austin studio tour in while we're here for PAX South. And we're here with a special guest. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Mark Skelton, internet sensation. Everybody knows me and loves me everywhere. Thank you.
All right, can you tell us a little bit about where we are?
This thing right here is came off the Wing Commander 4 set, believe it or not, and it's made out of wood, so stop it. It's supposed to be made out of metal, and she just completely gave it away. So.
All right. Well,
now we're standing in a piece of wood. So.
Can you explain a little bit about the artwork that are on the walls here?
Well, of course. So a lot of this stuff is probably stuff you guys have seen before. It's concept art that has been done throughout the few years that we've been doing concept work for Star Citizen. Here's our sweet TV that plays all the commercials and everything. That's awesome that Nanetta gets to see every single day. This is our awesome kitchen. Oh, dude, we got the Old Timers Guild gave us a popcorn machine, which is amazing. Makes fantastical popcorn. Here's our sweet boardroom. This is where the magic happens.
Here's the belly of the beast.
Programmer section. Try not to get over here too much, because every time I do, I have to take a shower. It's gross over here. It's okay.
They've got a nice sense of humor, though, as proven by some Lionel Richie on the side of the left.
That's pretty awesome.
Here, we'll move the.
That's pretty amazing. Oh, look, I found Sean Tracy. Here he is, right here in the flesh. Dun, 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 dun. Here is the designer pit.
Gotcha. You can tell.
And look, out of a whole pit, there is 2 designers here designing away. That's what they're doing.
There you go.
Working away.
There you go.
That's Rob. This is Pete.
I
you guys
hanging
know
out.
Pete, the weatherman.
All right, so now we're getting into the artist
Now we're getting
section,
into the fun part.
the beauty of it all.
This is the art pit right here.
It's normally pretty dark. We had to turn the lights on for the shoot.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark, but we're all cave dwellers over here. We like our darkness.
Oh yes. I agree.
This is Megan. She's one of our concept artists. She's working on shoes at the moment and boots.
Oh my God, shoes.
Yeah, so we're doing a bunch of boot designs for characters and stuff that we're going to eventually use for the character customization system. And this is just concept artwork that I've been going back through. Again, persistent universe centric, planet side stuff. A lot of the stuff that I'm working on right now, I'm putting up on this board. We're kind of going through it and making sure that everything is accounted for. This is the R-Corp section, which you guys have seen and are familiar with. we're going to be releasing it not too far in the future. So
Fingers crossed.
we're just kind of wrapping it up and making sure it's all good to go. Here's more artists. This is Court. He's our tech artist. He's amazing. Lee, oh look, he's doing what he's doing. He's doing actual particle stuff, which is what he does, which is
Lee.
amazing.
Good, Lee.
Very, very nice. That's Ken over there. He just started not too long ago. Ooh, he's working on some cool stuff. He's working on some paint overs for the med bay, which you guys, I'm sure, will be familiar with since you'll be dying quite a bit and reappearing here. So here's the animation pit in here. This is where all the magic happens. This is Brian and David. What's up, guys? You're on camera.
We're doing a
Just showing
studio
how.
tour.
See, the cool thing. Oh, I'm sorry. The cool thing about Brian is he's got all these. He's got all these weapons over here that he keeps. These are sweet. Oh, here's the two ship guys.
Get out of here.
The ship guys.
Chris Smith, you know, we're shooting. We're just walking around talking to people. Josh Coons, you may or may not know. Both of these guys are shipbuilders. All right, so here's the QA corner. So we're like, ooh, that's a cool shot. Look at that. They get to play the game all day. That's pretty cool. Stuff. Oh, that's kind of neat. What are you guys up to today?
Bugs.
Really?
And missile testing and usual good times.
Nifty.
Yeah.
Bugs, and more bugs.
Thanks to whoever suggested that we do an Austin studio tour during Reverse the Verse today. Thanks to you for scoping it out with me.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for walking around with me. I appreciate it.
It was my first video segment that I somewhat led, but you
did.
took the reins.
You
and
did good. You did good. I'm proud of you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Proud that you
I'm-
got through this alive. Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, citizens. We'll see you in the verse.
I like it. And while the guys were in Austin, they sat down with some Origin royalty to talk about the new Kickstarter, Underworld. Here's James Pugh talking with Richard Garriott, Paul Neurath, and Star Long.
I'm here in Austin at Underworld, and I have some very special guests. Why don't we go and introduce ourselves?
Sure. Hey, I'm Richard Garriott, one of the co-founders of Origin and the creator of a little series of games called Ultima.
I'm Paul Neurath, and I created the original Ultima Underworld, and now working on a new Underworld.
My name is Star Long. I was the director for Ultima Online.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about their new Underworld Kickstarter project. So why return to Underworld after all this time?
I'd always wanted to do new Underworld. I never imagined that the franchise would go dark for the next 2 decades. The plan was to do, continue the franchise forward. Only now have been able to bring it back and take it forward. It will be very familiar to people who are fans of the original games. We really looked at player choice as being foremost, and enabling player choice and enabling player-authored experiences. It's been under development for 4 months now. We've got a prototype running on the PC. So on February 4th, we're launching our Kickstarter campaign. So, this can only happen with the help of our fans. We want our fans we want to reach out and have them participate and give us feedback and help us craft this game as we're making creative decisions and fleshing it out. So, we're reaching out to our fans to help us.
And so it's really, keeping our community together, keeping our communities talking with us about it is really the number one thing I think we can all do for each other.
Thank you guys so much. The Kickstarter for Underworld Ascendant starts February 4th. There'll be a link on the site, and back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. Underworld looks like a really cool project. There's a lot more to learn about it. We're going to put the full version of James's interview on the Star Citizen YouTube. And next week, we've got a full-length RSI museum. It's finally back. It's going to talk about Underworld with the guys at Portalarium and Paul.
Now let's go over to Will for this week's MVP.
Hey everybody, I'm Assistant Community Manager Will, here to bring you this week's MVP. This week's MVP goes to Anti-Squeaker for his in-fictional post about how Drake Interplanetary is going to be suing Origin Jumpworks. According to Drake, the Cutlass has been misrepresented in Arena Commander as it's not maneuverable enough and is way too slow. So, thank you very much, Anti-Squeaker, for this week's MVP.
Thanks, Will.
Now to James, who is interviewing our senior design coordinator, Rob Irving.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Rob Irving. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I probably didn't need to do an intro, but it's just force of habit.
It's okay. There are some people out there who have not actually met me.
Never met you or never seen you, that's the thing.
Either.
No, I don't think so. Anyone
Possibly.
watching this has definitely seen you.
I hope so.
Well, no, it's good to be out here with you guys now. Like, this studio is awesome.
Welcome to Austin. Isn't it great?
I love it. I was really impressed when I walked in. I was like, oh, wow.
They used to have sunshine out on this patio, but we turned it off for you.
Well, we had it yesterday. Apparently, you were late in turning it off because I had it for 2 days, and now it's gone.
It gets, it's a very up and down here.
All right, so I'll start with a very hard-hitting, focused question.
Oh, okay.
What have you been up to since the last time we saw you?
Wow, that's very focused.
Right?
Well, let's see. I've been working, and actually, since we've shifted the focus of this studio, really, it used to be kind of all over the place, and now we're really laser focused on the persistent universe specifically. And in my case, what that means is watching all the parts of what all the different studios are doing and making sure they're going to fit into what is the final game, really. Because, I mean, we're working on all these different systems all at the same time, and Arena Commander is really part of the persistent universe. So what I do is I monitor what's going on at every studio in every facet of the game and make sure that it's going to fold in neatly and add the feedback we need to give to make sure that we get what we need for persistent universe.
So just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, mostly. Read a lot of email.
Yeah, I've seen you just got back. So how many emails did you have?
I had, well, I was only gone since I was out Friday and through yesterday, so I only had 400 emails when I got back. So,
that's it.
You know, pretty low. I had like 900 Skype messages. That was a little exciting.
So since the focus of this studio in particular changed, how has that kind of affected how your job, has that changed your job a little bit?
It has a little bit. I am less immediately involved with the local design team, which is what I really was more involved with before when we were pretty much all of design.
Yeah.
But now it's more about me being globally focused and them being locally focused.
So making those connections with Travis out in Santa Monica and making sure they stay on track?
I have to know what everybody's up to. I mean, I'm constantly interacting with all the designers at Ilphonic or in LA, and Dan and the guys out there, or the UK guys. So we're actually very heavily involved with the UK guys.
So you guys are kind of working together because while you guys are kind of doing the same thing, they're taking a different
Oh yeah,
way.
And we take different pieces because a lot of times it's what does Squadron 42 need first, what do we need first. So they'll start working on one feature, and we'll just follow along and make sure, you know, that we're dovetailed on what we really need to do together to get both of our pieces done.
And you guys are getting input from every one of our studios.
Every single one.
So is it difficult to kind of take this piece from Ilphonic, no longer redacted, which 2 months later, and I still can't believe we can say their name, taking this piece from Ilphonic and this piece from Santa Monica, is it make it more difficult, or is it just a challenge that you enjoy?
I do enjoy it, but it's insane. Really,
Yeah.
it is one of the most complex development process. It is the most complex development process I've ever been involved in. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting, but it does make it. There's a lot more logistics involved.
How's the feel of the office changed?
I think it's kind of. I would say it's sort of settled down a little bit. Year one was kind of crazy garage band.
Yeah.
Now it's more we're a part of the whole, and so things are a little more even keeled, I guess is the word.
So you and Tony kind of feed off each other on ideas
Yeah.
and how things are supposed to go.
Well, a lot of times Tony will grab one specific thing that's really important to us right now, and he'll go running off with that. And he's very good at the kind of tunnel focus. So while he's doing that, he's expecting that I'm aware of everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like one system, Tony's got it. Everything else in the game, if he has a question, I better know the answer. That's basically what it comes down to.
Or you better know who you can get the answer from.
Which is one of the main parts of my job, is knowing who exactly is working on this thing right now.
That must be hard to keep track of. I just see
Yeah.
our guys in Santa Monica and just see all the, we need this, who has it? And then it's just a scrap shoot to try and figure out who it is. So I can imagine on a global scale.
It is. It's crazy. But I mean, one of the things that helps is since we've extended the production staff, makes it so much easier. Because those guys are a constant source of information of, okay, well, who is working on this right now? And if they don't know, then we have a problem. It's like, Tony, we need to be working on this thing right now because no one else appears to be.
How's the community changed around you? Have you been keeping up with it and seeing?
I
doing?
watch it, and really part of it that's changed is that I don't get to spend as much time with the community or with following up on what we're doing with the community. I mean, I keep an eye on what's going on, but I don't get to watch everything we do or read everything we write. Although fiction-wise, all the lore comes across my desk. So I keep track of it and know what we're talking about. I'm able to kind of step in there and make sure we don't say anything too extreme, because a lot of times writers want to make their story really stand out, so they'll come up with something really dramatic that doesn't fit at all in our universe. And you know, it's like, oh, today we're going to do little robots that take over people and make them into aliens.
Sounds awesome.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, it does not.
Never mind then. Sorry. I thought it
That's
sounded
the
awesome.
problem. It sounds awesome for somebody else's universe. Not welcome here. Please take it elsewhere.
What about space magic?
Any sufficiently advanced technology, it's just enough to look like magic, right? That's how it works.
You delivered that pretty well.
Yeah, well, I stumbled in the end. I tried.
So we had a thread on the forums asking for questions, for general questions about you.
Oh, about me.
About you and the Austin studio in general. And one of the questions was, what's something in MMOs that you particularly don't like that you don't want in Star Citizen? I know one off the top of my head. Let's see if you go there.
Oh no! Well, my biggest personal pet peeve is actually the whole I want to offline earn money thing. That's one of the ones that tends to make it more difficult for us to monitor how money comes and goes and keep the economy stable. I think the one you were probably thinking of was crafting. Which
Yes, crafting.
Crafting. But yeah, that's either of those two. It's like we can't really think of ourselves as like other MMOs just because we're so far departed from most of the standard recipes. We are close in some ways to something like Eve, but even that, there are big gaps. But I think that the thing that I like about ours, as opposed to what I stay away from, is the idea that every single facet somehow is something you can be more skilled at than the next guy, which that's really a great idea, and will take a lot of development time, but we'll make the game fantastic in the long run.
So one thing I know you've been working on, something I know people are really excited for, is a star map. Can you give us a little? Can you give us a little something about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's actually one of the perfect examples of exactly how this game and its development has changed as it's expanded. In that, what we originally envisioned more than 2 years ago to now it has changed because we've had to accommodate new gameplay that we've added. Like, for instance, Chris talking about the different size jump points. Well, we hadn't really incorporated that when we first built the star map. So, given the needs for the persistent universe, and given that we wanted to get that folded in, we took the star map and sort of shook it up, I guess is the right answer. Moved things around, made it fit a little better, got some new organic gameplay out of it. And so we're going to unveil that at some point. I don't know when that will be, but it'll be really exciting because to me it feels a lot better. It feels a lot more like it reflects what we're building as opposed to it's an idea we came up with before we had all the answers.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. I mean, I see the fans hate this, but I've seen a little bit more of it, and I'm really excited for when we can share more. This is like the worst thing you could possibly do.
That is the best thing you can possibly do. It's so much fun. It's like, hey, I know about this, and you can't. That's.
Well, dude, it's been great talking to you. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you out here in Austin.
Yeah, I'd love to come back out.
Come out when it's warmer.
All right, well, we said we'd hug it out.
Oh yeah.
Coming for you.
Oh, where are you? Where are you? Man.
Eat lasers.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh!
Off.
Just you wait. Brandon, I need you to teach me how to fly. Ben keeps kicking my butt. Can you teach me how to fly? What are you doing?
A man who can catch a dart with chopsticks can accomplish anything.
All right, give me a shot at that. Yes!
Beginner's luck. All right, let's go. This stick is just plug and play. You don't need to select a different preset or anything.
So I can just plug in my joystick and away I go?
Yep. This is the default control layout for the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. But the important things for this lesson are that The y-axis, which is forward and back, is pitch, and the x-axis, which is left and right, is yaw. And we've got a throttle down here with the slider 1. I won't go into third person so we can see what these controls do. So the first thing is pitching. If you move the stick back towards you, it'll push the nose of the ship up.
Yep.
If you push it away from you, push the nose of the ship down.
Yeah.
For yawing, you move the stick left, you'll move your nose left, move the stick right, move your nose right. The sensitivity can usually be adjusted in the joystick itself, and eventually should be adjustable from the options menu as well. I think it's set pretty well right now. I'm just moving slowly for demonstration purposes. When I pull the stick back to raise my nose, you can see the thrusters on the back of the ship are pushing down, and those at the front are pushing up to spin us around the center of gravity. And if I hold the pitch steady, the thrusters mostly stop firing because in space there's no air to slow you down once you start moving. So once you're pitching like this, you should keep pitching like that. And if I release the stick, thrusters will fire again to stop my pitching. And if I do nose down, the opposite will happen, with the top thrusters in the front firing and the bottom thrusters in the rear.
And if I do this too fast, right?
Standing still like this, you should be fine, and with G-Safe on, which it is by default, you'll be fine as long as you're not boosting. But if your G-Safe is off or you're boosting and you pitch too quickly, you can easily block yourself out by forcing the blood into or out of your brain. Your pilot's brain, in any case.
Fancy.
Now for yawing, it's more or less the same principle. Left front thruster is firing forward, back right thruster is firing forward, and that's pushing us around the center of gravity. And same for yawing the other way.
How quickly can I turn when I'm going really fast?
You can turn pretty quickly without blocking yourself out, and you can sustain very high G-forces for a short period of time. So then the last control for this lesson is the throttle, which will control your speed. Whatever you have the throttle set to from 0 to 100 there on the left, it'll attempt to move you forward at that percentage of your maximum speed.
Where's it showing that?
It's here on the left of my heads-up display. Yeah. You can see my actual velocity on the left and my throttle setting just to the right of it.
Okay.
So as you can see, as I yaw left at full speed, it takes time for me to actually get going in that direction, because I have inertia that's going to continue pushing me the way I was already heading. As I turn, you can see the thrusters on the right side pushing against my previous direction of travel to straighten us out. So if I just keep yawing, I'll keep having part of my throttle pushing, or part of my thrusters pushing me forward, and part of them pushing to keep me from sliding in the direction I was previously going.
So basically, no
Reverse
matter
direction
what
here.
joystick I'm on, there'll be the pitch and the yaw, obviously.
Yes.
Which
And
will
some
have
will
different
also have a roll.
sensitivities.
This one does have a roll, but I've disabled it for this lesson.
But they'll also have all have a throttle as well.
Most do have a throttle. Some have it as a separate controller, which is what we call the HOTAS,
Right,
the hands-on
right.
throttle and
Yeah,
stick.
yeah.
This is enough to basically fly yourself anywhere in Star Citizen.
All right.
Why don't you yaw to your right?
Yaw to your right.
All right. Now, nose up.
Nose up. I feel like I'm shaking. Why is that?
That's the terraformer beams effect.
Of
It's
course.
disrupting the space around you.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's asteroids.
Those are just to tell you your speed, basically. They're just little pieces of space dust.
What happens if I try and go through the
You will
terraforming?
die.
I will die?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not do that.
All right, now why don't you try flying in a circle around it, keep it on your left. So turn your speed up a little bit.
I can totally see me taking my wing off. Okay. Oh my gosh. Where did it go? There it is. Okay.
So that's good for lesson number 1.
Okay.
Just keep practicing this and you'll be ready for lesson number 2, weapons.
All right. Are you watching this, Ben? I am taking you down.
Sure.
He's
Well,
going down.
believe it when I see it.
Going down, baby. Check back tomorrow when we have both the monthly report and a design update on shields.
We've also got a cool sale this weekend, adding some items to the Pledge Store and Voyager Direct. That includes not 1, not 2, but 8 shield generators, a new ballistic gun, and 3 Aurora skins.
I like it. Amazing what can happen when we poke and prod production, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really getting their item pipeline up and running.
They are. It's exciting. And now it's time for something else that's exciting, which is our art sneak peek.
Check it out.
All right, guys, thanks for watching and for all our subscribers for making this show possible. We will see you next week on Around the Verse.
Okay.
Oh my god, oh my god!